Crowded places and Karens are a deadly combo. We've seen Karens in supermarkets and restaurant Karens, and now it's time for flight Karens. Imagine being 16,000 feet above the ground, stuck in an airplane with a wild Karen on the loose. What could possibly go wrong? Well, according to the next videos, plenty. On August 1st, 2023, a United Airlines flight between Houston and Los Angeles was forced to divert to Phoenix after a passenger started getting disruptive because she reportedly couldn't get her wine.
Not accusing you of eating.
Yes, she did.
All right, sit down and stay down. Sit down, or we're gonna land somewhere else, and you're gonna have the cops take you to jail.
Calling the traveler United Airlines wine Karen, fellow passenger Blake Perkins posted footage from United Flight 1813 on his TikTok. In it, a flight attendant is heard telling the woman that they were going to land the plane and lead her off in handcuffs if she did not sit down.
If you don't sit down, we're gonna land the plane. You're gonna go in handcuffs.
Let's do it.
Sit down now.
The Karen, in turn, is heard saying things like, "She's accusing me," and "beat me up." No matter how many times the flight attendants tell her to sit down, the passenger refuses, instead pointing at someone off camera and saying that they were accusing her of something. What they were accusing her of cannot be made out in these videos.
She said,
Sit down!
She's accusing
Now!
me.
Sit down! Should we divert the flight? Sit down! You need to sit down. Take your seat. Now!
Let's go.
Listen! Sit down!
Let's land.
Get your seat. Disrupt the whole entire aircraft. Sit down now!
She's accusing me.
Sit down! We don't care! Sit down! Do you understand me? Sit down! Sit down!
In the video, a different flight attendant is also heard telling the Karen that she was drinking wine when she was not allowed to. As wine is typically not served on flights of this length, this most likely means that the woman was drinking something she brought aboard herself, a clear violation of airline rules.
You told me you were having anxiety, and I hugged you, and I knew you were drinking wine, and you're not allowed to.
I gave you a hug because you told me you were having anxiety, and I hugged you. And I knew you were drinking wine, and you're not allowed to, and I still let you on the aircraft, the same flight attendant is heard saying. Now that's an in-flight entertainment that you wouldn't wish. The first flight attendant's warning was ultimately enforced because, according to a statement from United, law enforcement officials met the aircraft on arrival and removed the passenger. The other passengers waited in their seats, and the flight ultimately took off on its scheduled journey to Los Angeles. The airline also said that the woman has been barred from future United flights, while the airline reviews the matter. Mid-air incidents on flights have recently been on the rise. From passengers fighting to some partaking in indecent actions on the plane, people do all sorts of things on flights. But the next Karen might take the cake for being the most outrageous of them all. A former Baywatch actor and NFL cheerleader is facing federal assault charges after allegedly beating another passenger during a Delta flight who called her a Karen after she compared herself to Rosa Parks, an American activist. Patricia Cornwall, aged 51 of Los Angeles, was arrested at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta 2 days before Christmas following the chaotic flight from Tampa, Florida, the Atlanta Police Department stated in a press release. They said they had responded to a disturbance call involving an unruly passenger. The incident occurred when Patricia Cornwall was walking back to her seat from the bathroom and found the aisle blocked by a beverage cart on December 23rd. When a crew member requested her to take an open seat until the beverage cart could be moved, Ms. Cornwall allegedly said, "Who am I, Rosa Parks?" invoking the name of the iconic African-American civil rights activist who refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man in 1955.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're
Who invited you to come
I'm eating, and I can
drink your up? Don't you dare talk to me like that.
God damn it.
You
I'll
stand
talk to
your
you.
step
Why I want
up.
to.
Stand your up. Stand your up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen.
You're a goddamn Karen.
No.
Sit down.
Sir.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down for a seat.
At this, a man seated nearby told Ms. Cornwall, "You're not black. This isn't Alabama, and this isn't a bus." The man also told Cornwall to sit down, Karen, according to the complaint.
Listen, no, you're the
Oh, no, you're the dick.
Ma'am, do you want the police to meet you on the ground?
What about him?
Mask up. Now.
Mask up.
Put your mask up.
Mask up.
drinking. I'm eating and drinking.
Tell him
You
to
got
mask
your
up.
mask down, bitch.
Sir,
Yes, I did.
stop it again.
Now you're going going to jail. That's assault. You're going to jail. As soon as we get in Atlanta, you're going to jail. Bitch. Karen. Hey, spit on me. Now you're double going to jail.
The pair then got into a dispute, which also involved masks. The Karen seemed to have lost her remaining brain cells as well, and began to yell at the older man, who had a bottle of water in his hand, to pull up his mask as she was standing in the aisle with her mask down. The argument gets heated, and the man then calls her a bitch, at which the Karen immediately slaps the elderly man and then later spits on him. The attack was recorded by a co-passenger and has gone viral online.
What happened?
She went crazy on the airplane. Punched this man in the face, spit on him, scratched him, poured hot water on my leg.
When the aircraft arrived at the gate, officers were able to meet with exiting passengers who advised that the suspect, Miss Patricia Cornwall, had caused a disturbance while in the air. Police wrote, "This disturbance led to the injury of fellow passengers and Delta employees. From there, they handed her off to FBI agents. Patricia Cornwall appeared in federal court in Atlanta. She is accused of assault by striking, beating, or wounding RSM in the Special Aircraft Jurisdiction of the United States. If found guilty of the Class A misdemeanor, she could face up to 1 year in prison and a fine of up to $100,000. Good riddance. Up next is a Karen who'll teach you the fastest way to get yourself on the no-fly list. On a flight waiting to depart from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, a white woman, Tiffany Gomez, was caught having an explosive tantrum in a video captioned, "Drunk on a Plane." It's unclear whether she indeed drank beyond her tolerance, but her erratic rant appeared quite paranoid.
They can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two f***s, but I am telling you right now, that back there is not real.
I'm getting the f*** off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the f*** off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it, she whined in a Minnie Mouse-pitched voice. I don't give two f***s, but I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. In the queue, everyone seated on the plane cracked their neck to see what the hell she was talking about and turned their head back to her after finding nothing related to her rant.
Stop the plane! Stop the plane! Stop the plane! Not going to. Not going to. Not going to. Nope. Nope. No. So what's going on? No. Stop it. Stop it. No, I need to get the off this plane right now. I need to get the off this plane. We're going to the gate. See what happens. See what happens after this. See what happens.
According to some passengers who testified to what happened via social media, the meltdown stemmed from her misplacing her AirPods and accusing the black passenger next to her of stealing them.
So this lady had been drinking prior to getting on the plane, evidently. Some people said they'd seen her at the bar next to the terminal. She was sitting in her seat, and I guess she had a pair of AirPods, and they said she had them in her hand, and then within seconds, we don't know if she pocketed them or where she put them, she misplaced them somehow, and she started yelling at the guy next to her, who of course is African American, saying that he stole her AirPods.
None of the witnesses recall her being apprehended by airport security, but do recall her making threats that they were all going to die, which resulted in a deboarding and 3-hour delay.
She was, screaming that we were all gonna die. Then we waited on the plane probably about 45 minutes, and then they wanted us to get off the plane, and we had to take all of our stuff off of the plane because of all the comments that this woman was making about us dying.
Who's not real? We still don't know, but one lady claims it was the flight attendant who was trying to settle the AirPod dispute.
Oh, and I've heard a lot of questions, people wondering who she was saying didn't exist. The person she was saying did not exist was the flight attendant, who originally was dealing with the complaint whenever she started yelling and screaming about the guy supposedly stealing her AirPods.
Even a celebrity witness, Carrot Top, took to social media to report on the incident.
Yeah, I give my hats off to everyone at American Airlines today for how they handled the situation. That nut job just lost your mind in front of the whole plane. And 5 hours later, we're here in Orlando, and I hope you're having a relaxing evening behind bars in Dallas, Texas, and hope you enjoyed your little stunt.
Wow, This Karen's going places, just not by flight though. But apparently she was still not done and went off on the cops as well.
So this moment, you want to belong to American Airlines, so the cops will just...
I don't care if I'm ever fly with y'all ever again. I want to know what happens to this flight right here.
They're gonna escort you out, so just let me get
Great.
phone with us.
Great. I don't ever want to fly with you ever again.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am,
Escorting me out and I'll never fly with them again.
ma'am, since you no longer have a valid ticket or business on this side of the airport, we gotta escort you out to the public side, okay?
Where's your suitcase?
You ready?
It's on that flight.
If you don't leave, you'll be under arrest for criminal trespass. This is your warning right here.
Okay. What? What? Am I leaving? What are you talking about?
Ma'am, if you don't leave right now, you could be under arrest for criminal trespass. Let's go.
Let that flight leave. Do not let that flight leave. Being dead serious. Do not let that flight leave.
You ready? Let's go. Come on.
You heard me say like, do not let that flight leave. That flight's not going to make it to Orlando.
Let's
It's
go.
not going to. It's like she's done it. Yeah. I'm not making it to Orlando. But I'm telling you, 100% that flight also is not making it to Orlando. And there's a lot of people on that flight. Can I just leave? You don't need to escort me out.
Yeah.
Can I just
You had your own warning. So, keep walking.
Oh yeah, until y'all see that fight.
Well, this Karen definitely makes it to the top of Psycho Karen's rankings for sure. Moving quickly onto the next Psycho Karens on planes. Up next is a Spirit Airlines passenger went viral on TikTok for being visibly intoxicated and acting aggressively to staff.
Somebody, one person complained, so now what's up?
No, listen, you out your mother mind.
The video of a Spirit Airlines passenger who appeared to be visibly intoxicated went viral. Now, online users are joking that she might end up on the no-fly list. In a TikTok posted by Amanda Grasham, a woman was shown standing in the plane's aisle and berating other passengers on board a Spirit flight from California to Las Vegas on May 26th. When you just trying to get home and the drunk passenger pissing everybody off, Grasham wrote in the video, posted on Thursday.
Miss what? I'm gonna miss my flight for what? Who did I offend? Raise your hand if I offend everybody. Right here.
The video has since garnered almost 3 million views. Grasham told Newsflare that the woman was visibly intoxicated and was acting aggressively to the staff on the aircraft. In the video, the woman was shown telling other passengers, "Y'all can't even tell me what I did." One passenger could be heard telling the woman to leave the aircraft. The woman was then shown turning around with one wrist over the other. "Come cuff me," she said. A few passengers could be heard laughing in the background.
For doing what? Y'all can't even tell me what I did. You can't tell me what I did. It doesn't matter that I'm not going. You're yelling at him. You're keeping up everybody. Please leave so we can go on. I'm lifting on my jacket so you can put the cuffs on me. Because what did I do? Then do it. Then do it. Come cuff me. Miss what? I'm going to miss my flight for what?
"You should be ashamed of yourself," a male passenger on board told her. Other passengers told the woman to sit down, but she refused to do so, telling them, "So now, everybody gonna suffer." A handful of passengers could be heard groaning in response, with the same male passenger saying, "That's bullshit." At the end of the video, the male passenger was shown standing up and responding to the woman. "Now listen, you're out of your motherfucking mind."
Who did I offend? Raise your hand if I offend everybody. Right here. What did I do to you?
better not say
Next.
me now. You should be offending
Who
your
is
damn self.
Anybody
You
else?
should be ashamed of yourself.
Before that, then what?
Shut your mouth and sit down. Or go get locked up.
I didn't
You're doing it now, though. You tripping.
So now everybody gonna suffer.
No, that's bullshit.
That's
Because somebody, one person complained, so now what's up?
No, listen, you out your mind.
Damn right she is. The staff then asked the woman to leave the plane after her outburst. The Karen didn't go quietly though. According to passengers, she had to be physically removed by 3 members of the airport police. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, unruly passengers are subject to substantial repercussions, including a $37,000 fine per violation. The bill advocating for the no-fly list has yet to be passed, so there's no stopping Karens on airplanes for now. All of these ladies had no business behaving like oversized toddlers in the confined space of an aircraft. While the Karens want to be the center of attention everywhere they go, the internet ensures that they become the butt of the joke every time. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what you would have done in a similar situation.